Good morning, friends, and thank you for tuning in to WildOne Forever's The Morning Nosh with me, Meredith Loughran. To nosh is to eat enthusiastically, and we've all heard the term, you are what you eat. My goal is to feed you messaging with anecdotes, inspiration, and positive things to start your day. Today is May 13th, 2020, and I wanted to talk about WildOne Forever's series called I Love My Mother, But. Now, if you haven't been to the WildOne Forever website, I highly recommend that you do and start following along. Subscribe to our newsletter, and definitely subscribe to this podcast. What I'm going to share today is kind of the genesis of I Love My Mother But series and share one of the stories that's posted right now. So, the genesis of the series I Love My Mother But came from a conversation that I had with one of our contributing writers, Irene P. Smith, who is an author in her own right, and she does technical writing as well. It was really her idea because the subjects that we deal with on WildOne Forever deal with real talk and real issues. And she launched this on Mother's Day, which I thought was very appropriate, and the honesty that she has in her post is really stunning and very, very refreshing. There are so many people who need this kind of messaging, because if we don't speak honestly about our feelings and the things that trouble us, then it's really hard to get past those things. So I highly recommend that you go and visit wildoneforever.com and check out her article. I'm just going to briefly describe it, and I really don't want to give out too much of the information because I really think that you would enjoy the article itself. But she speaks about her experience with taking care of her mother who's gone through a stroke. And really, her mother has been through a lot, a loss of a spouse, loss of their business, and now loss of her health. And relying on her daughter, who is an adult, and a daughter who's lived her life, who has her own family that she has to deal with, and that dynamic. And all of a sudden being under the care of someone who is your child. That switch in dynamic is something that all of us at some point will probably go through. For me, I watched my father become very, very sick with cancer, and it ate away at him until he was a whisper of the man that I knew. He wasn't robust, and he was taken away so quickly. And my own actions with him, I had to tell myself that despite how hard it was to see him dying, it was a blessing to be there for him, and I have no regrets for spending the time that I did, because that is those are memories that I will cherish, as difficult as it was. And I see how she struggles with taking care of her mom. She went from being an independent unit with her own family to all of a sudden having her mother with her 24/7. And that dynamic really can change the family unit. And there's no doubt that she loves her mother. But when you see somebody changing before your eyes because of health or because of mental capacity, it's really difficult. And when you're doing that day to day, it's like a huge weight on your shoulder. And we all have good days and we all have bad days, but a lot of times, when we're looking back on things, it all feels bad, but it's not. The fact that she's there and she's taking care of her mother and her needs is really a blessing. And I hope that Irene will look back on these days and realize that she did a lot of good. So in her article, she says, I love my mother, but she may not be with us much longer. And that's the truth. You just don't know how long somebody's going to be in your life. And you don't ever want to have those regrets. So in this segment, I just want to read something that she writes towards the end. I know that I will miss her when she's gone. There's no question that I love my mother, but there are times when I don't like her. Despite how awful all of this feels from the inside, I constantly worry that I'm being a bad daughter. I've spent most of my life trying to be just the opposite, and now it seems that I'm failing my mother just when she needs me most. And I hope reading that doesn't prevent you from actually going in and reading the entire thing. And to Irene, I just want to let you know that you don't have to like her all the time. This is something I tell my children. They don't have to like me. I don't have to like them either. But deep down, we love each other, no matter what. And there are days that you're going to feel awful because maybe you feel awful, but that doesn't make you an awful person. It doesn't make you be a bad daughter either. It makes you a real human being. And as long as you're there and you're providing and you spend time, I think that is just a blessing all around and not anything that you will regret. So if it means that extra effort to turn it around and feel a little bit positive, find something positive in this hardship, trust me, you won't regret it. As for my own story, I love my mother, but I have no idea what she was thinking when they gave me the name Meredith. To some of you, Meredith sounds like a perfectly good name, but my mother is Korean, and let me tell you why that's important. Because there are two sounds in the English language that don't exist in the Korean language, and that's the R and the TH sound. So there's no R and th sound. Well, those two sounds exist in my name. So I have to wonder what the heck they were thinking naming their first child with an American name that literally half of my family can't pronounce. So I love my mother, but really, what were they thinking? I asked her that once, and she kind of had that look of being thunderstruck because I don't think she ever really thought about it. But when I asked her, I said, Ma, Meredith, I know you couldn't say it because you were straight off the plane and you were 20, you were in a new country, this was a new language, the culture shock, the food, everything was different. And you named your first daughter Meredith. I said, what did you actually call me? And she looked thunderstruck and she started laughing. We both did, and she never answered, but she did tell me to shut up. So I have to question that because I don't have enough early memories to remember I do know that my Korean relatives, from my cousins up to aunts, uncles, and grandparents, uh, what did they call me? It was I know that my cousins called me Mette or Meredith, but it was never Meredith. So yeah, I have questions, and you guys wonder why I might be a little off. But hey, I can't help it. I just have to roll with it because those are the cards that I was dealt with, and I just have to make fun of myself because it is less painful when I do. And so I choose to say, hey, you know what? I'm laughing with you instead of feeling like you're laughing at me. So that concludes this episode, and I really hope that you guys tune in tomorrow. WildOne Forever's The Morning Nosh is available Monday through Friday, and beginning May 18th, 2020, this is going to be exclusively on Podbean and available to our sponsors who pledge $5 a month. And with that pledge, you're going to be getting at least 20 episodes a month of The Morning Nosh, because again, we're Monday through Friday, and we hope that that you tune in and share it with your friends. A lot of our topics are going to be just the day-to-day anecdotes, some funny stories, inspiration, affirmations, and hopefully things that'll help brighten up your day and make you think. Again, we want to turn those lemons into lemonade, and we're going to throw a lot of sugar in there to keep it sweet. But we do talk about some tough subjects, and we do that with some honesty and openness, because when we share our stories, it helps other people. And that is something that I'm committed to. I have a voice, and I'm not afraid to use it. Neither should you. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.